Dear children, welcome to our next topic, agents of cross pollination. In our previous session, we have discussed about pollination, the transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of a flower. Pollination is most important process in a plant's life cycle, which reproduces sexually. This is the prerequisite process for fertilization. Simply, we can say this as if there is no pollination, there will be no fertilization process. Pollination process is mainly classified into self-pollination and cross-pollination. In self-pollination, the transfer of pollen from anther to stigma is carried out in the same flower. But in cross-pollination, the pollen grains are transferred from the flower of one plant to another plant of the same species. In order to bring about cross-pollination, it is necessary that the pollen should be carried from one flower to another flower in a different plant. For this transfer process, the plant needs external agencies. Cross-pollination is possible only with the help of an external agent. The main thing to remember in cross-pollination is the transfer should be happened between two different flowers of the same species. This is the condition. If the pollen grains are transferred between different species, the fertilization will not be initiated. The pollen pistil interaction will not be occurred between the pollen grain and stigma of different species. Here, the chemotrophism will not be occur, that is, there will be no chemical interaction between the pollen grains and stigma of different species of plants. The pollen grains can transfer from anther to stigma of different species, but the pollen grain will not germinate. So, the male gametes cannot reach the ovary due to the absence of the pollen tube, because the pollen tube starts to develop from the germination of pollen grain. So, the pollination process is very essential for sexually reproducing plants, because the male and female gametes are produced separately in different organs. Hence, it has to be transferred from androecium to gynoecium. This takes place through the agency of animals, insects, wind and water. In general, the agencies are classified into two categories: abiotic agents and biotic agents. Abiotic means non-living, the agents which include wind and water. Biotic means living organisms, which include animals, insects, birds. First, we are going to discuss about wind. The pollination with the help of wind is called anemophily. Here, the pollen transferring agent is wind. The pollen grains evolved morphological structures which enable them to float on wind. They have morphological structure according to their lifestyle behaviors. The anemophilous flowers produce enormous amount of pollen grains. In wind pollination method, there is a lot of chances for the wastage of pollen grains. Hence, these kind of flowers produce enormous amount of pollen grains for successful pollination process. The pollen grains are small, smooth, dry and light in weight. These are the highly important characteristics of pollen grains of wind pollinated or anemophilous flowers. The pollen grains are very small in size and smooth. They are dry and in some plants they are powdery in nature. They are light in weight. These characteristics of pollen grains of anemophilous flowers enable the pollen grains to float on wind over long distances. Pollen of such plants are blown off at a distance of more than 1000 km. This travel distance is possible due to the characteristics of pollen grains of anemophilous flowers. The stigma are comparatively large, protruding, and sometimes hairy to trap the pollen grains. In pollination of anemophilous flowers, their stigma plays main role. The size of stigma is very large. The stigma protruding outside the flower. Stigma has hair-like projection to trap the pollen grains which are floating on the wind. Next topic is pollination by insects. Pollination with the help of insects like honeybees, flies are called entomophily. Insects are the most important agents of pollination. Insects like honeybees, butterflies visit flowers for their food requirement. They collect the nectar, that is the sugary fluid which is produced by the flowers. At that time, the pollen grains are attached with the body of the insects. Thus, it has been transferred from one flower to another flower. To attract insects, these flowers are brightly colored, have smell and nectar. These are the special characteristics of the flowers which are pollinated by insects. The flowers are brightly colored, so the insects are attracted from a long distances due to the attractive bright color of the flower. These flowers also have sweet attractive smell which also attract the insects to visit the flower. These flowers produce nectar. This is the main reason to the visit of insects in a flower. Nectar is a sugary fluid which is produced by the flowers. This nectar is the food substance for insects. The pollen grains are larger in size. The exine is pitted, spiny, etc. So they can be adhered firmly on the sticky stigma. In this type of flowers, usually the pollen grains are large in size. The outer wall of the pollen grain, that is exine, is pitted, and in some species it is consists of needle-like projections, that is known as spiny. These morphological characteristics of pollen grains enable them to adhere on the pollinating agents as well as on the stigma which is sticky in nature. Approximately 80% of the pollination done by the insects is carried by honeybees. So, the population of honeybees are important for agriculture. They contribute the 80% of entomophily method of pollination. Next method is pollination by water. The pollination with the help of water is called hydrophily. This takes place in aquatic plants. Here, water is act as the pollen transferring agent. Pollen grains are produced in large numbers. As like the wind pollinated flowers, the water pollinated flowers also produce large amount of pollen grains. Here also there is a lot of chances for the wastage of pollen grains. So they are produced in large numbers. Pollen grains float on the surface of water till they land on the stigma of female flowers. In this type of flowers, the pollen grains develop an outer coat. They secrete an oil-like substance which protect the pollen grains from getting wet. This characteristic of the pollen grain enables them to float on the water for longer duration. The stigma also develops some structural adaptations by which they can easily trap the pollen grains which are floating on the water. Hydrilla and Vallisneria are the good examples for hydrophily method. Next method is pollination by animals. Next method is pollination by animals. When pollination takes place with the help of animals is called zoophily. Pollination by bats is specifically known as chiropterophily. Flowers of such plants attract animals by their bright color, size, scent, etc. This type of pollinating flowers are large in size, so they could be easily visible and their bright color attract the animals. They produce scent, that is sweet smell, and also produce nectar in high quantity when compared to the other method of pollinating flowers. This is also a main reason for pollination carried by animals. The sunbird pollinates flowers of Canna, gladioli, etc. Pollination by birds is specifically known as ornithophily. Squirrels pollinate flowers of silk tree. Cross pollination is the most important process for agriculture. Cross pollination is needed for the production of food grains in a good quality as well as in high quantity. Thank you.